Hey everyone, this is Scorch, and I'm going to make a different kind of video today. I would like to go over the events of the past week and let you all know exactly what Alder and I have been going through. Um, so let's just start at the beginning. On August 30th, we saw a Facebook ad for free barn kittens. About an hour away, there was a really cute orange kitten in the litter and the only orange kitten in the litter. And I had been wanting an orange cat for I don't know how long. And we had decided not too long prior that maybe Ash could use, like another cat around, a sibling, someone that's not our dog, Briggsy, because they get along, but they don't really play. And there was a moment where we had kittens on a YouTube video on the TV, and Ash was really enthralled by it and trying to get through the screen. So we decided at that time, let's look around, see what we can find. So we found that Facebook ad, which you'll see a picture of. Um, and you will see there that orange kitten there. Some of you may recognize him in some photos I posted. That is Loki. The next day, Alder drove up to the farm and held that kitten for about an hour, and he did nothing but purr. It was basically meant to be. So Alder put him in the carrier and brought him home, and Alder gave me a call, and I just hear in the background the cat meowing, and it did not sound like meowing. It sounded like the cat was going, yeah, 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 like he was excited to come home. Um, Alder got home, and we set the carrier down, and Ash happened to be in the living room, and she kind of sniffed at it and was interested, and we opened it up, and they met. And I had my first moment with the kitten where Alder picked the kitten up. Again, Loki is his name, as you can tell by I'm using my Loki peen tuber in honor of him. And the moment Loki saw me, he climbed onto me, rubbed his head against my chin and my head, and he curled up at my neck. um Loki, I thought he was a lot smaller for his age than he should have been. um they think he was around 8 weeks old. I and the vet think he might have been a bit younger than that. um he was small, as you can see in this photo here. He was tiny. He fit on Alder's hand. He was small like a cell phone. But he was vigor and brilliant and sweet, and I pretty sure we all think he imprinted on me, because after that moment when he saw me, he would not leave my side. Um, if we were eating dinner or something, he would do his best to get over to me. And I would set him down on the couch, and he would climb back over and get in the chair. Um, and I do it again and again, and finally we just set him on the floor, let him go explore. No, he would run up and just curl up between my feet. Alder would pick him up and carry him back to the couch, and he would run over back to me and curl up under my feet. We put his bed, little kitten bed we had from when Ash actually would use it, and then she stopped. Um, we put that bed on my desk. We made room for him, and we kept him there. Loki had some issues. We knew he had some medical stuff going on. For the record, before anyone jumps to conclusions, the next day after we got him, when the vet was open, we called and tried to schedule an appointment as soon as possible. And the earliest opening was that Friday. So we had him scheduled for an appointment. We just wanted to make sure, besides some things that we thought might have been going on, like maybe worms or something, we just wanted to make sure he was healthy um, and good. And because he had his moments. Um, he knew how to use the litter box, but he didn't know how to bury his litter or his doings. Um, and he didn't know how to clean himself. And he would end up, because he was a very furry orange kitten, I would have to often clean him up. And when I say often, every time. and I did not mind. This is where it's weird for me because normally stuff like that would irritate me or annoy me, but there was something about Loki and oh, what I would give just to take care of him again home. I'm sorry, guys. Um, and as you guys all know where this is going based on my post. Uh, Loki had his vet appointment, and the vet, gave him a deworming and gave us extra medicine for it for I think 16 weeks after or something. I don't really remember. But then the vet did say that Loki's internal temperatures were really low for what they should have been, and this at this point he had been kind of lower energy than normal, and I was I was getting worried, but I'm glad Aller took him to the vet. Um, he seemed fine at the vet. He was playful. He was rambunctious. He had one of those little tube treats while they were getting all his labs done and everything. Um, and Aller brought him home, told me the details. I had a Magikarp hat. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of what the hat was. And if I do, it's gonna be right here. Uh, and they said to keep Loki warm. So what we did is we put him in this hat and we put some blankets around him and we kept him in bed with us. It was really nice and warm and comfy. He slept with us anyways in general. Because he wouldn't let me not, he wouldn't not sleep with us because he would just jump in the bed anyways. Um, Speaking of, he would wake up in the middle of the night to go use his litter box, and then he would not know how to get back in the bed, generally speaking, until later on. But after he'd use the litter box in the middle of the night, he would run over and meow at me until I woke up to put my hand down so he could climb on my hand so I could pull him up into the bed. I would love to be able to do that again too. I mean, uh, anyways, um, so after the vet appointment and we had him all bundled up and nice and warm, we took a nap. Um, I woke up and Loki had moved and he had curled up between Alder and I, and cute, sweet. But I wanted to make sure he stayed warm. So we put his blanket over him and made sure he was good, and he was fine. He was a little bit playful, a little more energetic than earlier. So I'm like, okay, this is good. I went back to sleep. I woke up again, and he had got up to go potty. He was on his way back. I helped him back in the bed. Um, and then I woke up one more time around 2:30 p.m. Probably a little bit after, and I didn't see him in the bed. And um, I woke Alder up, and I'm like, "Hey, Alder, can you help find the kitten? Help find the boy?" And Alder started to get off the bed, and I peeked over the side of the bed and started looking under it, and I saw him at on the side of the bed, on the head of the bed, like on the floor, curled up on some clothes, and I'm like, "Oh, he's over there, get him." And Alder went over to pick him up, and and he said he was dead, and I'm like, "You're joking, you're fucking with me," 'cause I didn't believe him. I thought I don't know why I think he would joke about something like that. And he picked him up, and his little mouth was open, and he, he was gone. I held my hands out. I was like, "Give me my baby. Give me my baby boy." And I held him, and I cried, and I loved on him. And I told him how sorry I was. And I was torn, and I was hurt, and whenever I was starting to bond with him, and I have never had that kind of bond with any pet I've ever had in my life, and I've had so many pets, and I only had this kitten for a few days, and he meant the world to me. I took 59 photos and videos in 2 days of this baby, and he was, I, I loved him, and I loved him so much, and I'm sorry. Um, he he was gone, and Alder called the vet, to find out about cremation services, and he was walking through with them, and I was just holding baby boy in my arms and just crying and holding him and telling him how sorry I was, how much I loved him, and uh, I put him back in the magic carpet because it was the last place he was sleeping comfortably. And he was curled. I had him curled up in it, and I was just holding him. And Holder came to take him because he had to take him to the vet so we could get ready to be cremated when they did. And I didn't want to let him go. I didn't want to let my boy go. You guys, I loved him so much. And Alder, took him to the vet, and they it was it was one of the hardest moments of my life to let go of that hand with my baby in it. So we took him, and he'll be back here soon with us. He's gonna be in a little urn box, and it's gonna have engraved on it our mischievous little scamp, Loki. He was a rambunctious kitten, and nothing will ever measure up to him. Nothing will ever replace him. We contacted the barn, the farm where he was, where we got him, and the lady Alder had talked to was devastated about what happened, and she invited us back out there. She said she had other kittens, and I don't want to replace Loki. I never want to replace Loki, like I said. Nothing could. But he had some litter mates, and I felt I needed something. I felt me and Alder both needed something, because I wanted a connection to Loki, still something. I needed to have part of him in my life. There was no looking back. We got out there, and I wasn't sure at the time. I was having emotional conflicts, but we got out there, and while we were talking to the lady, one of Loki's sisters, like part of his actual litter, one of his sisters trotted up. And even though she wasn't orange, you could tell they were brother and sister from the way she walked and flopped over as soon as she got over to the people for attention. And I just and then another one of his sisters, and eventually we saw all three, which you'll see in this photo here. You see all three of the babies, and those are all Loki's actual sisters. Now if we go back to the Facebook ad, you see this guy here. He was adopted into that litter. His mom was a feral and gave birth to him, and he was a feral kitten, and abandoned the barn. And she brought him out for us to meet, and I was holding him, and apparently him and Loki were really close when they were in the litter. They had bonded and had fun, and I could really see a lot of Loki's mannerisms coming from this cat. So we decided we were going to take him home and love him, and carry on Loki's legacy, so to speak. Carry on his family. We talked for a long time on the way home, and held him, and he did nothing but purr. And that's all Loki ever did too. Loki was a purr. He had such an engine on him for such a little guy. we went over names like crazy. We were thinking because we themed our names of pets after. So when we got Briggsy, when I got Briggsy, I played Sea of Thieves, and there was a character named Briggsy in that. When we got Ash, um, Alder was an Ash main in Overwatch. When we got Loki, Rivals was our game, and Marvel Rivals, and I mained Loki, hence my ping tuber. Um, but uh, we couldn't think of a name. It took us like a day and a half to think of a name, and I woke up one morning and it just came to me. I'm like, how did I miss this? We have to name him Thor. He has to be Thor because he's Loki's adoptive brother. Like Loki was Thor's adoptive brother. It made too much sense. So now we have Thor, and uh Loki will be coming back to us soon, and I'm gonna have a little. I'm cleaning out one of my shelves on my desk, and it's gonna be dedicated just to Loki. For his urn, his collar, tags, anything that he. I'm gonna buy tags still, even though he never got big enough for them, or his collar, and I'm gonna put them around over there. This has been emotional. I still cry, as you guys could tell. I see Loki everywhere. I see him everywhere. I hear his meows in my head. I want to hold him one more time. I want to tell him how much I love him, and I think he knows. And I know how much he loved me. And knowing how much he loved me really just it really gets to me. But I think I just want to let you all know what was going on. Um and to introduce you guys formally to Thor. And no, Thor is not replacing Loki. Thor is carrying Thor is carrying on Loki's legacy. He is carrying on the world that Loki didn't get to that he didn't get to experience. And I hope you all will love Thor as much as we're going to love Thor. And I hope you all will remember, cherish, and love Loki and Loki's memory. And maybe anytime you see Loki from Marvel or any other incarnation of Loki, you'll think of a little orange kitten and how energetic and happy that boy was. Okay? Thank you all for listening to me go on about my baby and what we had to go through. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye. Hi, little guy. Oh my god.